Welcome to episode 14 of the Trash Talk Business Podcast, where we talk everything junk removal industry. If you're here and wanting to grow, scale, get out of the junk removal industry, you've come to the right place. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Casey Bubba Lawrence. I'm Andy Weins. Casey, what are we talking about this week?
Today we're going to talk about reviews, how to get them, and also how to handle the bad if you happen to get a bad review.
All right, well, let's jump in. What has been so as of today? Camo Crew Junk Removal has about 420 reviews with a 5-star rating on Google. Achieved that over about 2.5 years, being very intentional. And the reason I say that is because I found out recently, in the last 6 months or so, from some college students, that Google, from an SEO perspective, considers reviews the precedence as higher. So it's so much more important from a ranking standpoint. You have a lot of reviews, and so that's why it's important to me. And it's important to me that we say we're going to deliver 5-star service, and that we do in fact deliver 5-star service, which, to your point, doesn't always happen. So from your perspective, Casey, where have you seen, or how have you grown, I should say, how have you grown your reviews in your business?
Right. So when you first get started, you're always trying to think of ways to market yourself without spending a bunch of money because you don't have it.
Yep.
And like you just said, Google and their SEO world, they really do matter, man. Reviews really do matter. So I actually started having review cards made. This is about year 3. They're about the size of a postcard. And on that card, it says, my website, it says the link to Google, Facebook, Yelp. And at the very end, I had my guys and my crews put their names down. This is kind of a double whammy. The reason why I had my guys put their name on the card, because I had an incentive for my employees, right? And we can get into that in a second. But at the end of the day, or the end of the job, you're going to know if you did a good job or not. Like, you're going to know how does it feel with the customer right now? So you give them this card. Hey, thanks for your business. I really appreciate it. Here's your receipt, or we're emailing your receipt. But here's a card. And if you can go and leave me a review, if you think we've done a 5-star service, we really appreciate it. At the same time, I even told my guys, be honest. Say, hey, look, if we did a good job, let us know. We have an incentivized program to where at the end of the month, whoever does the best job in reviews gets a prize or whatever. So we started doing that, man, and it cost nothing, right? But it nets everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it costs nothing. You got to pay for the printing and to have the thank you cards there. What were some of your incentives to get your guys to actually go out and get the reviews? Was it number of reviews, or how did that work?
So there's 2 different ways of doing it. We did it both ways, right? You can do a point system, which is an easy way to track, right? And how I did it was, remember, this is just for me, okay? I don't want everybody thinking this is the gold standard. If you have a better way of doing it, do it. But I said, if you get a general review, so if a general review comes in, it's a point or $1. But if a named review comes in, like, hey, Andy did such a great job today, blah, 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 then it's 5 points or $5 to that person. And at the end of the month, whoever has the most points or most dollars, you don't just win what you won, you actually win an extra thing. So I think for us, it was like a $200 gift card. And because, well, and you think about it, right? What's mostly the motivating factor for these guys running trucks? Money. Right? And not just money. Yeah, and they want money that they can do whatever the hell they want with it. That's extra. Like, oh, here's a Visa gift card. I could spend this on whatever I want. And that really helped it because you have that friendly competition with your crews going, hey, I can do better than you. I can do better than you. And you as the owner are like, this is awesome. Like, these guys, not only are they hustling, they're giving better service, and they're marketing the hell out of my company for me. Now, let's talk about the flip side. Bad reviews.
Yep.
because they're going to happen. You're going to get one. And I would say, unless you're a complete shitbag, 9 times out of 10, they're petty. The bad review is a petty review that could have been easily avoidable through conversation. But hey, that's just how the world works. I remember the first bad review we had at my company. I wasn't on the job. I never went to the job, but yet my name was all over the bad review because I was the person they talked to. Okay?
Yep. Casey this, Casey that.
And I owned it, though. I said, you're absolutely right. It's my fault. I apologize. And then I had to go into damage control. Now, the crew that did the job, I mean, this review sounded like we just showed up and started breaking shit, right? When in actuality, it was a family member that passed away and they were having to move all their stuff out of their apartment home or whatever. And honestly, the guys just weren't being respectful of the property that they were getting rid of. To be brutally honest, they were throwing shit in the trailer. They probably should have said, hey, let's set this box of stuff that they're throwing away down. Because in our minds, we think they're getting rid of it. But in their minds, those are memories. Those are a piece of that person they just lost. So, you take it on the chin. Sometimes you can get them to recant their review, but I wouldn't count on it. So you just got to respond in person and then also on the review. Comment back, hey, we apologize. Let us know what else we can do to fix the situation or make this better or something. That way publicly people can understand you're not just blowing these people off when they leave you a bad review.
Yeah, and that's what we had. So we had one situation recently where there was a discrepancy on a job that we weren't made aware of. So the one person that was on the job said, yep, you're good to go. We left. Somebody else later was like, nope, you were supposed to take this. And then there was a discrepancy between the two family members. They did call here, and to the best of from what I'm gathering from our ops team, to the best of their knowledge, the matter was resolved. We said, hey, here's why there was a discrepancy. Mm-hmm. And now this is where we let it get away from us. So we were aware of this before we got a negative review. And at that point, we didn't follow up. And one of the things I was just talking to Ken, our GM, about is you're right. It's often those things go whatever, right? Mm-hmm. From a damage control standpoint, one thing that we need to do moving forward is if there's ever a discrepancy on the job, just call the customer. Hey, what was the discrepancy? Yeah. Okay. Because if it's a quick, hey, let's just go out there and figure it out. Okay. And the thing is, Ken was on the job and everything went smooth when he left. But again, there was two family members that weren't on the same page as to the scope and scale of the job. And when they did call us, we didn't respond. So Ken did reach out to him. The gentleman hung up on him. It is what it is. Yeah. And now the opportunity, right? We know we reached out. So we'll follow up with an email. And to your point, we will respond on the public forum. We'll respond to the review. The thing I'm going to disagree with you on is I don't fucking apologize for anything. I won't apologize, right? I use the word thank you instead of sorry. And it changes the vernacular, and I can get into that. But really, it's more, hey,
I agree with that.
Thanks for your patience. Right? Yeah. Thanks for your patience. I look at negative reviews, right? They're negative as in 2 stars, but I learn a lot more about our customers with let's call them negative reviews than I do with positive reviews. Well, because then critiques. You can really understand. It's correct. It's hey, this is what my expectations were, and this is where you fell short. And I'm not going to, on this one in particular, this case, I'm not going to beat up the guys. Mm-hmm. One thing that you just said that I do like is, right, it's a lot of people want to sit here and react emotionally, which that doesn't do any good, right? Or resign responsibility. Like you weren't even like, oh yeah, it was this guy and this guy. No. That was what we have to do is we have to respond logically to the situation, the stimulus, right? Respond logically to the review, not to the person. Don't react to the person. Like I saw it, and the first thing I thought was, man, what did we fuck up? A lot of companies out there. I had a cleaning company I hired one time. They did a shit job. I told them they did a shit job. I called them and was like, hey, you didn't do a great job. And the first thing they did is attack me and my character. Yeah. Oh, the house was trash and it was this. And I was like, hold the fuck on. I'm paying you. That's not how this fucking works. Just so happens I went on their website and they had 2 reviews, and it was from the 2 owners of the company. And they were just 2 scorned women And I'm like, well, that's why you have 2 reviews, and I have a company that has over 100.
Yeah.
And again, it's not a big dick competition, but
Well,
2 reviews versus 100 reviews shows my level of commitment I have to my craft versus your lack of commitment you have to your craft, right? I don't give a shit what your craft is. Right at the end of the day, we haul junk for a living. We are not a step above a garbage man from a lot of people's perspective. We hump trash, hump buckets, right? Bang jobs.
Well,
and yet I give a shit about my fucking craft. I want to be the best at it.
Right. And to be the best, in my opinion, it's not if you make mistakes or not. It's how you handle them. I tell people all the time, fire prevention versus firefighting. And you know what? Unfortunately, you and I probably are the best firefighters out there because that's kind of how we got into it. And now we can be the fire preventers. But so that bad review, by the way, do you know who it was? You know him. It was Paul.
You're going back to your review. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it was my best guy, right? It was my best guy. And what's funny is I wasn't mad at him. I talked to him after that, and he was like, look, man, like this wasn't nice stuff, and my bad. And I was
doesn't
like,
matter.
I get it. I was like, I get it, but still, you gotta be respectful.
But not nice is not nice is his perspective.
Right.
When it is we deal with or work with, I should say work with. I hate the word deal with. We work with a lot of people that are going through some emotional shit. I talk about the 3 Ds of junk removal is death, divorce, and domestic disputes. Those are 3 times where we are getting involved. And when it comes to those situations, people are heightened emotionally, and it's our job to be objective and logical and neutral on the matter. And especially when it comes to the possessions of a loved one, right? There is a reverence to it to a certain extent. And if you're just chucking stuff in the truck, like that is also an example of how you feel about your job, how you treat your employees, right? You're like, just good enough. And then also, especially you and I, we both have a philanthropic angle to what we do by hiring vets and hiring people. It's like, well, if we're just going to throw people's shit around, do we also treat employees that way?
Right.
Do we not give a shit about their possessions? Right? Do we not give a shit about the people, our customers, or our workers? And so it's like how you do one thing or how you do the small things is how you do all things or how you do the big things.
And
real quick, so you were talking about your review cards, and actually, these just came in last week for us. So I'll let anybody and everybody steal this. Okay,
there you go.
Right? And I stole this from one of my competitors because I saw theirs and I was like, man, your thank you card is better than mine, right? And so I fucking right. One of my mentors, Jerry Gendusa, said, real smart guy here in Milwaukee, very successful entrepreneur. But he said, when you steal from one person, it's plagiarism. When you steal from everybody, it's called research. So here's some of the research I did, right? So this is actually from one of my competitors, or not, it's not from one of my competitors, but here's our company, right? Thank you card. And to your point, Casey, we hit several things. I'm going to put a little closer, right? Mm-hmm. So, right, it is scan, right? It's QR code sends you right to give us a review,
Boom.
Right? And then we give them, is it reverse or is it fucking normal for you? Does it read right?
You're good. No, it's like, right. It's back to normal.
Okay, it's fucking science backwards to me. Science. Anyways, I know because it's like the fucking mirror. And now my podcast guy is like giving me a thumbs up, like you're an idiot, Andy. Thanks, Taylor. All right, but what it does is right. Yeah, he's showing me. There he is. Yeah, he's like right over here, like it's right here. But no, a couple things, right? We tell them what to do. This is just now we're going to get into marketing, right? Tell them what to do, right? Scan this, right? Tell them why they should do it. Get 10% off, right? And then to your point, Case, right? Who's your crew? Because we want them to remember who took care of them with their project. Because we see guys' names all the time pop up in our reviews, and that gives me a warm and fuzzy. I'm like, fuck yeah! Like the guys are taking care of the community. Like I can't be on every job. No, I can't be on most jobs.
And I feel like people are more apt to review the person than the company, especially in a personal level. Like, look at moving companies. So I'll give you a little cheat code to all you listeners out there. Junk removal and moving, 2 separate businesses. But you know what?
Very different.
Customer service is almost identical because you're both 100%. In their house. You're both going through their shit. And you got to be careful. Not just with their stuff, but just the surroundings. So this moving company, all my sons, they're huge, right?
They're nationwide.
Yeah, so a buddy of mine, he's like real high up in there. and he's a hustler. He worked his ass off. Well, my mom, she recently moved to Florida, and she didn't ask me about it for some reason, but she hired this company, but a different branch. She didn't have a good experience. And I was like, well, shit, you should have told me. So I called my buddy. He was like, he was pissed. He goes, are you effing kidding me? And he's like, dude, just give me a minute. Give me your mom's info. So like a couple of days later, I was like, hey, Mom, so, did Bobby help you out? And she's like, yeah. Like he called and got the local company in Florida to come in, replace the original guys. He comped this. He did this. Like he pretty much was like, I'll be your personal liaison. I've never met you in my life, but we don't want that kind of service. So it's that kind of customer service that makes, you know what? I'll tell you this. We've said it a long time, but I'd rather have one person buy from me 10 times than one person buy from me once and, spend $500 versus $100 each time. Yeah. Because it shows me I'm doing something right.
100%. I look at every month, we look at where do our leads come in from, and repeat business or existing customers, they stay flat month over month, and they have for the last year or two because people come back. But what's more important to me is where are referrals at? If people are referring us, that means we're doing the right things within our community. Right now, also it builds our business. And to your point, right, referrals are free. Right? I like to get introductions from a business standpoint. I personally like to be introduced to people, but for when it comes to work, I want referrals. Yeah. Right? What do you got? I want you to refer me because I've already earned your business, and now I've also earned the opportunity for you to recommend me to others. That's huge. Now, if I shit the bed on a referred customer, I've done pissed off more than one person. Right? We step up the game when we ask people to go to bat for us, and we got to deliver better service than we would have if it was just for our initial customer. Like that's the expectation. Yeah. The challenge, you talked about moving companies, right? What we do is very similar. How we do it is, what we do is very different. Sorry. How we do it is similar. Yeah. So last week, Ken was on a job and he saw that this moving company, it was raining that day. They had these rolling like rubber mats that they put down on all the entryways so that when the guys are coming in, they can set it down, like put the rain gear on or whatever, and then right. But I'm like, Ken told me today, he's like, dude, why don't we have those? He goes, I've never even fucking heard of these things. Right? I don't know why we don't have them. We're getting them. Yeah, that's great. Right? Like we use, carpet. What is it? Carpet shield. Yeah. Right? If we're doing carpet or demos. We use ram board. We use red rosin paper.
My favorite.
We used to.
The furniture discs.
Oh, I love fucking furniture.
Oh
yeah. Furniture just to slide furniture. Yeah. We used to use rolled up carpet. So we would cut carpet in like 30-inch sections and we would roll it down hallways all the time. Because you fucking trash it and then put it in the it's going to landfill more than likely anyways. Yeah. And so we would use carpet until it was all trashed up, especially on rain days. But anyways, he's like, yeah, these rubber mats, I was talking to the moving company, they use them, they're like yoga mats basically. They're like 20 foot long. And then you can take them back to your shop and hose them off if they get dirty. Otherwise, you put them back in the truck, put a strap on them, and you're good to hook. So that's again going to the how do you take care of your customer? How do you become a professional? Because in junk removal, yes, there is going to be chucking a truck. There is the guy that has a beat up pickup truck that's just going to just get by and just get it done. And if that's you, God bless. That was me at one point. I did it for a number of years, but
and for a number of reasons right?
Like my reason changed. I was broke and I had to make money, right? But then once I started elevating my game, I bought better equipment. I had nice uniforms. I had a brand. Well, then people start treating you different and more doors open, right? So to the chuck and the trucks out there, God bless. Keep doing what you do, but then don't sit and bitch and say, hey, why am I only in the $100,000 houses and not in the $5 million houses? Yeah. Well, do you got 100 reviews or do you got 2 reviews? Do you have the uniforms and the equipment or don't you? Because the review process isn't, the job is done. Here's a fucking thank you card. It's from the second someone interacts with the marketing of your company. From the second they see you, that's when your review process essentially starts.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go. I'm.
So
you're chomping at the bit.
So here's another thing to think about. By the way, for all you listeners, this is free fucking information. Okay. Like, this is stuff I would be writing the hell down. If I knew this year one, I'd be like, holy shit. But a lot of things we realized, and a big part of our success in junk removal was our community. You got to understand something.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the suburbs, people talk. And they don't just talk when they go and meet for a beer, lunch, or chamber, whatever. They talk online. Facebook groups, community groups, the Nextdoor app, right?
Nextdoor is huge.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they talk to each other. So what we realized real quick was not, reviews are very important, but it's not just the reviews. It's why are they going to leave a review for you? If you get into their head, you're going to realize they're hiring you because they need something done. They need a solution to their problem. Now, yeah, they can always go down the street because I always told this, anybody asked me, so do you beat anybody's price? And I said, no. They're like, how come? I go, because that's not my business model. We're worth more than that. And I hire my guys solely based on what I want to be treated like. I don't just hire anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ask for these reviews, people are leaving reviews so that their friends and family can see them, as well as they're going to Nextdoor. Use these guys. They're amazing. Hey, I talked to Andy the other day, and, he really did ease my mind during this huge job or whatever. They're going to talk. Now, what I learned in sales, and it's funny because it's applicable to this. I learned this in when I was selling cars a long time ago, right? Shitty job, by the way, but I got some of the best sales training in the world, not going to lie. But I learned this in sales. You make someone happy, they're going to tell a few people. You piss someone off, they're going to tell everybody. So remember that. Sometimes it's easy to defend yourself. Oh, you know what? Fuck you. No, I didn't do anything wrong. You're just a bitch or whatever. But swallow your pride and think about tomorrow. Think about next month. Don't just think about the here and now. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong. What matters is how much are they worth to your business, because they're gonna tell everybody how much of a dick you are, or they're gonna tell a few people how awesome you are.
Yeah, I learned that I used to sling pizzas back when I was 16, 17, 18.
Same here, Mr. Jim.
Marco's Pizza in Germantown. I remember I was the shift supervisor, manager. I was the guy with the key who's in charge of putting the money in the safe, and the place was
so
clean.
much responsibility.
Right,
but hey, it was insane.
So much responsibility. Jesus. Fuck. I see 17-year-olds now, and I'm like, God bless. How do you not burn yourself just looking at the pizza oven?
We ran that company to the ground, by the way. There's six of us. That pizza company. We worked for Mr. Jim's at Forney. There's 6 of us, 17, 18-year-olds, potheads.
How'd you run it? How'd you run into the ground? By being turds?
We were just terrible people. Are you kidding me? We would send dick-shaped breadsticks through the oven and deliver them. We didn't care, and somehow, we all ended up getting fired eventually. Yeah,
I've never been fired from a job.
I was fired from Mr. Jim's.
Jesus. All right. Well, going back to Marco's, I remember we made a pizza, fucked it up, and it came back, and I delivered it, right? I went up to the floor. The big deal. The head chef coming up to the floor, right? Whatever. But I came and I delivered it, and I just talked to people. I was like, hey, man, this is me. I fucked it up. I didn't throw it. And I just stood there and bullshit with the guy. I was like, all right, man, have a good day. He came up later, and he's like that was the most professional thing you could do. And again, I was not the moral standard when I was 17, 18, right? Ask anybody in high school. But at the end of the day, I understood that they paid for something. I didn't fucking deliver, and it's on me. And as soon as you just fucking have the conversation, you realize that when you fix the problem, now you've gone through this emotional situation with someone, they're more likely going to recommend you because now you heard them out. You thanked them for their business. You took care of the problem. You ended up rectifying it versus if you would have just done it right in the first place. And that's the opportunity with negative reviews or feedback in general. I hate this notion of constructive criticism. No, it's feedback.
Yeah.
People are giving you feedback. And what do you do with it? And the challenge or the opportunity here is, how do you respond as an individual, i.e. the business owner, and how do you respond as an organization? And you got to be united in your response, which is, hey, we'll take care of it. Because when you take care of the problem, then the person, generally speaking, quells. Mm-hmm. Now, as you said, at the top of the show, top of the program here, yeah, a lot of the shit is petty. But you know what? Petty is subjective. What is petty to you, the business owner, isn't necessarily petty to the person. And it's how you respond that matters. And that's a fucking life lesson while I'm here on my soapbox, right? How you respond is important.
Well, and the biggest thing is even the difficult customers, like, hell, I'll be honest with you. I've had repeat business from difficult customers. And,
Oh yeah.
There's times you're just like, man, I wish I could just not have this person call me again. But at the same time, you have to be appreciative and you have to be grateful because they're using you.
Quite the hand that feeds.
Like, they are using you, and yeah, they may be a pain in the ass, but there's ways of dealing with people. I challenge people, I'm telling you, you've probably done this already. I challenge people to read a freaking sales book. It's not just about how to make money. It's about psychology. It's about how to talk to different kind of, how to read people. That's the biggest thing. When you're out there doing an estimate, I'm going to tell you right now, so last week we had our podcast, right? And I was in Florida. I left on Thursday and I tried to bang out 2 demos, okay, in 2 days. I fucked up on one of them. I did, man. I'll be honest with you. It did not go good. I honestly don't think I'll make money on this job. I still have to go fix some things. Tomorrow I'm going to go put a fence up. 30 feet of fence. I messed up. Well, my guy did. But it's me.
Your company. Your company did.
And it was, hey, look, to his defense, it was a piece of crap property. The fence looked like it should go. It did. Regardless, what I learned was I got the job because of who I am. He literally told me, like, you're not the cheapest, but I like how fast you responded. You're personable. You met with me the next day, blah, blah, blah. Now, here's what sucks. You got the job. Now you pissed him off. How do you soothe it? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the cool thing about it is he still paid me in full, which is awesome. But I gave him my word. I would go fix the problem, which is there were some big chunks of concrete left in the dirt, whatever. And then there was hey, you took the wrong fence. Okay. So
fair.
And that 2-day job turned into a 3-day job and almost ate up all my profits. So, now other companies out there are like, dude, I got paid. I'm done. Peace out. See you later.
Done.
You can't do anything to me.
Correct. You're no longer a priority.
Right.
Maybe I'll do it when it's convenient for me at best.
But for me, what I learned, and you know what? It doesn't matter what business you're in. But what I learned is if you do the right thing, it does come back to you. Because even though I pissed this guy off, right now he's pissed at me. He's like, oh, this sucks. This guy, whatever. Afterwards, I'm hoping that he will say, you know what? Yeah, you fucked up. But you fixed it. You were good on your word. I trust you now. And we can go about our business. And I don't have to worry about him killing me online or any of that bullshit. But that's the biggest thing is, go ahead.
Well, I say, don't fucking hope. I hate the word hope, right? But plan on it. Plan on it by actually doing something about it. You know what I mean? But there's a difference, right?
He was a realtor, so
actually, exactly. Oh, hey, I can tell you, all right. Well, hey, we work with a lot of realtors in our industry. We just do, and not all realtors are equal. And I have found that some of the most successful realtors are the most difficult to work with.
Yes,
because they go to fucking bat for their customer.
Their standards are so high.
Their standards are high, right? But that's what. But they don't. They are representing their customer.
Yeah.
And you have to fucking deliver. That's it. You have to deliver. And if you don't, you got to eat crow.
Yeah.
Eating crow is part of being a business owner. And you're not always going to hit it.
If you can't eat crow, I promise you won't last long. You know why? Because hell, I got in an argument 2 days ago with a good friend of mine over a bullshit Facebook comment he took personally. So I texted him, and then we got into it, man. Right? He was a Marine, and whatever. Like, we just got into it. And at the end of the day, I was like, this is stupid. So, this is so dumb. My main issue with you is you can talk shit all day, but the minute someone talks shit back, you get fucking boo-hoo. And he was like, well, and I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, you can dish it, you just can't take it. Well, we're over it now because we're men. We're fucking grown-ups. But I was looking at it, and I'm like, it's the same thing in business. You may be out there, I'm the best. But what if there's someone out there who's like, technically you're not the best because A, B, and C. Are you going to be like, oh, shit, well, how do I fix A, B, and C? Or are you just going to, oh, fuck you, I am the best. You have to eat crow. You don't know how to.
Well, not just know how, but you got to deliver every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might think you're the fucking best. The second you think you're the best, you're fucking not. Because you got to think every day, I got to fucking earn it. I got to put the fucking work in. I got to hustle. I got to take care of these customers. I got to get referrals and reviews, right? As soon as you stop, if you're like, hey, I'm good enough once I remember when we were in the franchise world, as soon as franchisees would get like 50 reviews, they're like, all right, we're good. We're going to stop. No. Or they would stop. Oh, hey, we're going to survey people this month. What? You should survey people all the time.
Well, and
there is new shit and new information that pops up every week. I got 8 surveys filled out last week. Right, that was 8 pieces of information that supports me. Right, that helps me understand what we need to do as a business. Because we got new employees, we got new practices, we got new trucks, we got new uniforms, we got a new brand, we got new pricing. There's always some new shit, and either it's working or it's not.
So, what are you going to do about your negative, bad review that you received recently?
We reach out to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is, actually, I was just talking to Ken. He was emailing the customer because the customer hung up on him, right? So it's like, all right, well, we tried that course of action. And then we'll respond on it. And first thing, we'll acknowledge it. Like, you know what? You're right. We didn't make mission. We're not going to sit there and point fingers and say, well, one person said this. And no, hey, we didn't make mission. We didn't get back to you in a timely manner. That's on us. What can we do?
Yeah.
Now, we put the ball in their court. We've reduced them bitching. I had an issue 2 weeks ago. I had guys working on my basement, and they disconnected my water pressurizer tank because they're doing some foundation work, right? And there's an overflow PVC pipe. Apparently, the thing cycles every 24 hours. Fucking news to me. Anyways, it cycles every 24 hours to stabilize the pressure. Found that out. Anyways, about 3:45 in the morning, I got a fucking waterfall in my basement. I thought my dishwasher was in my living room. Right, because I'd run a load of dishes, and I'm like, that's fucking loud, Jack. So anyways, I go downstairs. The fucking water's everywhere. I'm fucking half awake. I remember I saw the PVC as I walked out. I was like, that's got to go. And I just fucking stuck it in. It shits out. It finishes its pressurization. There's water in the rafters, water on the floor. So I go to the company's website, and I'm like, I need to find a fucking email and send them a picture because I'm pissed. It's 3:45, Jack.
Yeah.
No, nothing. So all they have is a form fill, right? Hey, name, first name, last name, email address. So I wrote in the form fill, your guys fucked up my shit. That's all I wrote.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the need to explain. And at 3:45, I didn't have many other words. I got a phone call like 10 after 6 and another one at 6:15. And my phone was on do not disturb, so I didn't wake up to them. And then I get up at 6:30 or 6:15, whatever, when my alarm goes off and I'm fucking getting myself ready for the day. I look at my phone and I was like, I don't recognize those numbers. Well, then I get an email or text message rather from my realtor be like, hey, what the fuck happened? This basement company you hired hit me up. What the fuck's going on? So I sent him the picture and I explained. He's like, all right, well, check your voicemail. The owner called you. I was like, all right. So I checked my voicemail. The supervisor or superintendent or whatever, field supervisor, had left me a voicemail and the owner. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to call these guys back.
Yeah.
I called the field supervisor. It was interesting. He fucking apologized up, down, left, right, and center. Oh, we shouldn't have happened. I'm like, hey, man, just fucking fix it. Then I call the owner, and the owner did something that is music to my fucking ears. Didn't fucking apologize. He's like, yep, guys were lazy. This is what happened. Pressurized tank goes every 24 hours. They didn't replace it. It's exactly what happened. Not the first time. I'd love to say it's going to be the last time. But this is what we need to do. We'll be out there later. We'll move your shit. Because, of course, all the stuff that's in the middle of my basement, that's right where the fucking water drained out.
I mean,
but the thing is, he didn't fucking apologize. He explained to me. He said, yeah, my guys are fucking lazy. Well, I can't argue that.
No.
Right? And then he said, what else can I do? And I'm like, well, nothing. And he's like, all right, then. And I was like, fuck. But what he did is he made it about the situation. I don't remember the guy's name. But at the end of the day, I felt like, okay, my situations are handled. I was heard. The owner called me, so we're good to hook. So now as I'm saying it out loud, this customer that hung up on our general manager, I'm going to call him tomorrow because if they wrote the negative review today and Ken called me and hung up on him, I'll give him a few hours to cool off. And I already thought about this right before I came up here. I was like, yeah, I should call him. And I will. I'll call him tomorrow and be like, hey, man, I was level with you. Like, hey, we fucked up. If you want to leave the negative review, leave it. It's an honest reflection of the work we did. Now, I can sit here and piss and moan and talk about how we didn't deserve it or how there was poor communication on their end, but no. What did we do? At the end of the day, we did not complete the job to their standard. When they reached out to our company, we did not ensure that they were happy. Now, I'll defend my people. because our guys did their job, but organizationally, we didn't fucking make mission. And sometimes customers are fickle people. I got another customer who was upset with me, and the first thing they said is, I don't mean to be a Karen. Okay.
Sweet.
Well,
that means get ready for a Karen.
Got it. But you know what? From that person's perspective, they're right.
Yeah.
So I have to take the time to hear their perspective, find the facts within what they're saying, and then come with a reasonable solution. I'm not going to justify what we did or didn't do. I will come up with a plan of attack moving forward. And with some customers, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I've had customers say, you're the worst company to work with. Sounds good. Find a different company.
Yeah. And that's
because other people tell me I'm the best.
And that's fine because
and they're both right.
And here's the thing: what separates the winners from the losers on that is if you honestly believe you're the best company in the fucking world at what you do, then you're sadly mistaken. Because there's always in life, no matter what you're doing, not just business, in life, there's always someone bigger, stronger, faster, whatever. Well,
yeah, you could.
Well, once you accept that,
how do I say this? With you have to seek to be the best, but recognize they'll never be there. Right.
Right.
You could want to be the best.
Yes. Now,
but you need to be humble enough to recognize that there's more work to be done.
Now, what you need to do is instead of thinking you're the best ever, say, you know what? I'm very good at making sure my customers have the best experience with my company. And that's all you can do. Now, is it going to happen every time? No. When it doesn't happen, that's what you're gauged on. That's what you're graded on. How do you handle when shit goes off the handle? Like, how do you handle when your day does not turn out like you wanted it to? Because, especially in junk removal, everybody here should know, look, if you have a truck and trailer, then this is definitely pertaining to you. You're going to get up one morning, 6 a.m., whatever the fuck. You're going to get out to your yard or to your driveway. Oh, man, I have a flat tire. And you know what? My spare is flat too because I never got around to getting that spare fixed. Oh, you know what? Look at my schedule. I'm actually stacked today. Oh, this is going to be fun. And you know for a fact, you're going to have to start making phone calls immediately because now you're about to back up your entire schedule. And how you do that matters. Because if you're saying, hey, look, can't get to you, got a flat, sorry. That's not going to work. I'm going to tell you right now, if you are straight up honest, like, look, hey, I got to my truck this morning and it looks like I'm going to have to back you up a little bit. Does that work? If not, I'm so sorry. Whatever, but not say sorry.
You can't. You can't make your. Well, no, what it is, you can't make your problem their problem.
Right.
So you can explain to them until you're blue in the face. At the end of the day, you got to say, hey, right? Do you need your? I always like to start with a question. Hey, how soon do you need your job done?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Right, I like moving one of the early jobs just to the afternoon.
Yes.
I'd rather work with one person on a reschedule than work with everybody. I'm not going to tell everybody I'm an hour late.
No.
I'd rather tell one person, hey, can we come this afternoon? I call customers all the time the night before, like, hey, something changed our schedule. Can I do this? The worst they say is fucking no. And again, that's going back to the preventing the fire, right? Being a fire, whatever, being the fire checker guy, right? The fire master, if you will, versus the firefighter.
Yeah.
When the fucking fire department comes by and makes sure shit's all fucked up.
The fire marshal.
All right, so let's fire marshal, fire fucking guy, whatever. All right.
Firefighters.
So firefighter. All right, let's talk about key takeaways. Because this whole episode was about reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are some key takeaways for reviews that you want our listeners to know based on what we talked about here today?
Key takeaways is push for reviews. All right. Because I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of you motherfuckers listening aren't pushing for reviews, okay? I don't care what you say. If you ask for a review, you know what they're going to say? Yeah, sure. But unless you give them something to hold and to get in their way, they're not going to do it. They're going to forget because life goes on. And honestly, you have to look at every customer like they're never going to use you again. But you're fighting for them to use you all the time. So, key takeaway, push for reviews. Other key takeaway is be freaking humble, man. You have to get inside their head and know they are not you, okay? If they have a bad experience, you have to understand that's on them that they're having a bad experience. How can I make it better for them? And how can I, say, hey, look, that sucked and nothing much I can do about it right now unless you can tell them, you want a free coffee? Like, I'll give you a gift card for Starbucks. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But you have to stay humble.
correct. Stay humble, but respond to the situation.
Yes.
Recognize their concern. Respond to the situation. There's nothing you can do about it at that point. Say that, or or moreover, ask them for what they need, want, or desire. So they got a warm and fuzzy at the end of the day.
Well, and ask them. I mean, a lot of people are afraid to ask for feedback. Don't be. It's okay, especially if you're first starting out. Hey, for your 1 year guys, like we're about to talk to a guy, later, but for you 1 year guys, if you're not asking every single customer how they heard of you, what they thought about your service, and will they use you again, you're failing yourself, because I'm going to tell you right now, even if the answers are not what you want to hear, you need to hear them.
Well, correct. It's not you can't be subjective to say, hey, this is what I not want to hear.
Yeah, like,
you got to be open to what is the truth? What are the facts?
Well,
right?
So real quick, I mean, we got a little bit of time, but when I got into my franchise, I was asked by the owner of the franchise, hey, man, would you ever use JDog? And I told him no. And he was so offended by it. And I said, well, here's why. It's not because of whatever reason. Remember, this was like year one, so I didn't have anything against anybody. But I was like, well, where I grew up, like we do shit ourselves. I mean, honestly.
Yep.
That's why I wouldn't use this company. But he was so offended by it that it showed. And I was just like, look, it's not, hey man, like some parts of the country, you don't need to do junk removal because they can burn it or do it themselves.
Yeah, but also what I sell isn't what I always buy. Right? I wouldn't hire a junk removal company because I've always had truck, trailer, the means to dispose of things.
Right. And that's the thing is, it's almost like asking a chef, man. Like, go ask one of these people that own a Domino's. Like, hey, whenever you eat pizza, do you only eat Domino's? They're going to be like, no. Well, why not? You own a Domino's. Well, here's why, But, anyways, just don't be afraid to hear the truth from someone else's mouth and stay humble and push for reviews. But also get creative. Like Andy, like what you did, it's not even stealing. You're not stealing. If anything, it's an honor to that company that you took. Dude, I stole. I tried stealing a formula from Junk King that actually they stole from FEMA when it comes to demolition debris. Because
I remember we talked about that.
Yeah, and it's because I noticed
we use that. Yeah,
I was like, dude, Junk King has a stupid awesome website compared to mine. Why? Like, I need to look at their stuff. How are they doing so awesome on their website? Yeah, but that's how you get better. Right? If you go out there thinking, "Oh, I'm the best. I can do everything the best," you're gonna fail. Talk to people. I mean, shit. Get used to hearing no. That way, when you hear yes, you're like, "This is amazing." I actually like.
What's this all about?
Well, and that's the thing is, I like good surprises. I really do, and I tell everybody all the time, look, whether you use me or not, all I want to know is, what do you think about A, B, and C? Last thing I have to say about reviews, honestly. Don't just stick to one platform. If you can put on your card or whatever you hand out, give them all the links, because here's why. Just like he said with Google, it's the same thing with Facebook, same thing with Yelp, same thing. Wherever you can leave a review, they have an algorithm. And
correct. There's also like Nice Job, and there's third-party review services. Like, I'm not going to get into all that because that's
I'll just do the main three.
But we also use third-party services where they can they'll send the reminders and the follow-ups, so you can build fucking
CRM
within your CRM to follow it.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's about getting the review. I also like to get reviews. I want to get surveys. I want to get referrals.
So in your surveys,
that's a whole other thing.
Well, can you do like a minute rundown on what exactly a survey you give is?
Every single customer, every single customer of ours gets a.
It's like 10 questions or 6.
Fuck no. It's less than 7. So the key, the rule of thumb with surveys is you got to make them less than 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And so, actually, I can pose customer survey response. So we sent out a survey. So actually it's only 5 questions. Would you recommend us 1 through 5? Mm-hmm. What was the top reason you hired Camo Crew? And the couple of answers we have there is veteran owned, friendly, easy to work with. Cost was reasonable. Serve my local area. Environmentally conscious. All the above. That's your options there. So third question is, how did you hear about Camo Crew? Mm-hmm. Now, we asked that on the intake, but this gives them a chance to write it out a little bit more. Whatever. We also asked them, did you consider any alternatives before this project, right? Like, so that's renting a dumpster, donating, doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
So we asked them that question because we want to know, well, who are we competing against, right? Or hiring a different company. Like, I want to know when I win against another company. And then we just say, we set the bar high for service. If there's something we can improve on, please let us know. So those are only 5 questions. And then we ask 2 demographic questions, which is gender and age range.
Okay,
so that's it. It is seven questions in total.
So the first
5,
question,
yeah,
I like that.
Would you
survey.
recommend?
The first question,
Yeah.
I would keep it a yes or no, and then if no, why not?
That should be more. What is your overall rate? But yeah,
like I honestly like that because, man, we could really dig in deep with this.
Yeah,
but
exactly. We want to stick it 45 minutes talking about surveys.
Yeah, so like a survey and a review are not the same thing, and that's pretty cool because survey you can get a basis on. Oh shit, we can go into that later.
Correct. So today was that's the thing. Today is reviews because why they're important. We can talk about surveys, right? They're interlinked, but you push for one or the other for different reasons within your business.
Yeah.
Right. They both revolve around marketing and operations. There's no doubt about it. But to that end, so 3 takeaways from reviews: fucking ask for them. Don't hesitate to ask for them. Be humble when you got them, and then be responsive.
Yeah.
Right. One, especially with the bad ones, be responsive and respectful of the people. Cannot stress that enough. And the reason we talk about that is because there are thousands of examples online of companies defending themselves and making, making a bad situation worse by just not doing the first 2 things, which is providing amazing service and ask for a review and being humble with the information received.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. 45 minutes talking reviews here on the Trash Talk Business Podcast. I'm Andy Weins with my co-host Casey Bubba Lawrence. Thank you for joining us this week, and we look forward to seeing you next week, episode 15, where we are going to have our second conversation, part 2 with Griffin, as he is looking to take his business next level.